I wanted to talk about the NDA. The NDA is messed up. If you don't know this, then come closer so we can talk about it. According to TMZ, Allison shared an NDA with some of Twitch's family members in exchange for viewing his body at the wake. She states that, let me preface this, in an excerpt from her book, she describes a disagreement over an African American tradition of displaying an open casket and taking photographs. Period. I've been an African American for a very long time. I've never heard anyone state that this is a tradition. I've never read anything. And even if I were to look this up right now, living my black ass life, it's never been, oh, well, because we black, we got to keep the casket open and let people take pictures. That was a racist stereotype that rubbed me the wrong way off rip. And the fact that US Weekly reprinted that verbatim without offering a disclaimer stating that these are the views of Allison or anything, it was almost presented in fact as a fact rather, because the next sentence was something to the effect of, I thought that it was obviously unacceptable, as though you processed this information. Well, the blacks wanted to display his body and allow people to take pictures. And I thought, this is unacceptable. I'm rejecting that tradition. And I now have to lawyer up and protect the interests of my children. They created a scenario that was harmful and one I didn't agree with. And so I had to protect myself and my children by doing this. Those crazy African Americans. It was even stated by those who attended that when they went to the funeral, that it was split down the middle, blacks on one side, whites on the other side, that the people were not interacting at all, and that it was cold and it felt soulless. Just throwing that in there. I do not have any proof that the family said, well, it's an African American tradition to keep it. They have not actually come out to defend themselves, and I think that they should, because I was just like, if that was me, we would be sitting on somebody's couch that next day, and we would get her together. Now, I don't understand why other ideas were not considered. Security guards, phone collection, one-on-one moments of mourning. Like, there were so many other areas that we could have gone, but she used this as an opportunity to position herself as the only person that can make money off of talking about Twitch. In the NDA, she said that if anybody does an interview, writes a book, sells a t-shirt, anything that will pay you any money based off of my husband's life, I'm going to get that money. And some people actually signed this just to be able to view his body, just to be able to say goodbye. I mean, yeah, that's love, right? But two, they had no idea that she was planning to do the very thing that she didn't want them to do. So she has been on a media tour right now promoting her memoir that comes out on the 4th of February. But she's saying that the money that she makes off of this, the proceeds don't go directly to her. They go to her foundation. Pause. It's also written in that US Weekly interview, and it's kind of like obscure, that someone said, well, what about you? And then she said, of course, implying that she may have signed that NDA as well. So if she did sign that NDA, then I feel like, and I'm not an attorney, but I feel like she may have broken it herself because she is going to benefit monetarily. I think it would take a really good attorney to at least argue the fact that even though it's indirect via foundation, is still a monetary benefit. And the reason why I say indirect is because if I create a foundation, I still need to pay myself. I need a salary. And if I need to run a business, then I have expenses. We got to spend that money too. And if I got to let people know about it, I got to promote the business. Hey, guess what? This is what we're doing over here. And guess what else? Because it's a nonprofit, I also get tax exemptions. So you do benefit. A few months ago, Naomi Campbell was bopped on her head because she was dipping in the foundation funds. You know how many years she's probably been doing that? This is in the rich person's playbook. I know regular people that have foundations and nonprofits and that sort of thing, and they live great lives because of it. They're also helping people too, but I'm just talking about the money aspect of it. You know what I mean? So like, don't get your panties in a bunch. Don't get upset, right? Don't get upset. But this right here is an indirect way of a tricky way for her to make money. I think the NDA is broken, but y'all need to talk to an attorney, just like y'all should have talked to an attorney the day she ran up there and did what she did. You probably didn't have time. You probably felt stressed. I don't know what I would do in that situation. I probably would have signed it so I could say goodbye to my son. I don't know. But I also think that I would have been down at the damn funeral. Like, let me see my son right now before I burn this thing down. It would be something crazy. I wouldn't be so docile, but these are some good people. They're very professional people, and they've been standing by watching her do this. And now they're starting to finally say something. And I'm happy to hear and to join the group of people to help amplify messages that other people are putting out there. So shouts out to all the people. I'm trying to think of her name. Without a Crystal Ball, she has been instrumental with sharing information. I keep throwing her name out there because I'm getting the information from her research. So she's really awesome for that. The last thing I will say for the family, y'all need counsel. Y'all need to go talk to somebody. I think it's really easy to see that she's calculated and she's moving and she don't care nothing about you guys and your son's name. But I would start a foundation. I would. He is your child. You know so much more about him than she does. I would tell his story from the very beginning, and I would do it slowly. I would do it in layers, in very thin layers. And I would take every cent of that and I would route it through the Stephen Twitch Boss Foundation for kids that can dance good. And I would pay myself an adequate wage and promote this business with the funds that come through and share with anybody that will want to know about my son. I would share pictures. I would share artwork from school. I would go layer by layer. It'd be week to week. And she would sit there and she would die every single time. I'll go right up to the point where he met her. It would be that summer right before the girlfriend that he had before would be the last chapter. Oh Lord. Anyway, oh my gosh. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. We're gonna do this every single day, sometimes a couple times a day, depending on what's going on. I'm not doing anything on the inauguration. Like Michelle, it's like pick somebody else. So y'all can handle that on different channels. But if there's anything that pops up, we'll see you guys a little bit later or tomorrow. Peace out.